Hello, folks. This is Bob Safale, and I am, of course, the founder of Digital Currency Growth. And I am here to talk about a very, very hot currency called Cloudcoin. But before I get into that, let's just a little background information. When we're talking about digital currencies, and that's what we're really truly talking about. Everybody hears about Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin is one currency that utilizes a technology called blockchain, which in and of itself, we'll get into a little bit more information on that. But in and of itself is a method of using encryption to safeguard the valuable it's delivering from one point to the next. But when you're talking about currencies, digital currencies, it's much more than just blockchain. There are alternative technologies to safeguard what you're trying to deliver. Because essentially what you're doing is you're delivering an asset from one point on the globe to another, obviously typically using the internet. Now, other technologies, as an example, are anti-counterfeiting technologies. These are technologies that basically are, once again, decentralized, dispersed throughout the world or throughout a given zone. Could be a country, could be a state, could be a region. But these anti-counterfeiting systems will basically validate something coming across from one point to the next. Once again, it's obviously it's a digital application, but that's another methodology to basically verify that when somebody's handing a digital valuable from one point to the next, it's not fake. Okay. So, with that said, obviously there's been huge successes with Bitcoin and other currencies, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dash, Ripple, and obviously the bulk of, I think there's something on the order of 1,300 different digital currencies now, and most of which operate using blockchain. Now, Bitcoin's success is clearly that it is a solution to the concerns of many people regarding what governments are doing with their own currencies, inflating, deflating. In fact, Bitcoin and their underlying technology, blockchain, is, some would say, a direct reaction to the financial crisis of 2008. Once again, you had a situation where you have the values of government currencies are inflated, deflated, and affected by the actions of, some say, small groups within central banks, but digital currencies are a reaction to that, particularly the fact that digital currencies in general, particularly blockchain, are decentralized. So that you have to understand that, and that's one of the reasons you have success with Bitcoin, is because you do in fact have a solution to the problem of central banks deflating, inflating, and governments' activities regarding their currencies. So Bitcoin certainly solved that one. And also another thing that's that's a big plus regarding Bitcoin. When you have somebody pay for something, let's say, I'm just going to say it's a merchant for lack of a better term. If somebody is buying something from somebody else and they pay and they get the something else, that person who bought can't turn around and charge back or in some way or the other screw the merchant. And this has been a huge issue with payment solutions, obviously credit cards with their chargeback policies, PayPal with their chargeback policies. So that's another huge plus and an underreported plus. But let's talk about the problems, because this is where we we really we really had to focus on what's now coming up with Bitcoin in particular. There's real issues regarding the transaction capacity and the speed of transactions themselves. Now, there's a school of thought that part of the lack of speed of transferring a Bitcoin has to do with the fact that there's the density of the encryption. But there is reporting now, and you can see it on this article, that there are issues regarding a built-in delay of transaction by the Bitcoin developers themselves. Okay, the core developers. They've actually caused a scarcity by limiting the transaction speed within the code. Well, that's a problem for so many reasons. If you have brand new people who are trying to get involved with cryptocurrencies or digital currencies, and their first experience is it takes a heck of a long time to get my wallet from like an exchange from like Coinbase, can take up to 7 days, and then once they've gotten the wallet, it takes them a long time to in effect land their currency. And then it takes an even longer time to use the currency. That is going to suppress the growth of the digital currency industry. Simple as that. It's also going to not allow the spreading of the usage of currencies if most people are focusing almost entirely on Bitcoin and similar coins that rely on blockchain. Because stores ultimately will not be able to take Bitcoin or payments as easy as it is to take regular payments. It could take a very long time to take and when I say stores, I'm talking about not only brick and mortar stores, but also online stores. So it defeats the long-term health of the digital currency world if it takes a long time to get transactions done, just naturally. So this is a very, very big issue with Bitcoin. Another issue also is the fact that it does utilize an open ledger or a central ledger system. So you can theoretically look at anybody, and see what somebody's buying, and now obviously your average person is not going to sit there with a software program and be inspecting in a large scale the purchases of each person because of the central ledger. But unfortunately, we do have organizations like the National Security Agency that have tremendous computing power, tremendous. I mean, the strength of their systems now, quantum computing, they can do. I think the number now is well over 2 to 3 billion guesses a second. Let me say that again: 2 to 3 billion guesses a second. So obviously, for the kind of the libertarian, group of people who have been hailing digital currencies for a long time, they are very concerned that Bitcoin is not an anonymous currency. So that's another issue. So essentially, what's now happening is you are getting a whole new series of currencies that don't rely on blockchain, that rely, for example, on anti-counterfeiting technologies. Okay, validation technologies, decentralized anti-counterfeiting, and decentralized validation systems. And that's where we believe things are going to go in the future, unless at some point there are technical adjustments and changes to how the blockchain operates and then how the ledger operates. I'm not going to predict that at all right now, but I can say for certain that there now is a huge push on coins that do not rely on blockchain. Okay, Hashgraph is another one you're going to see coming out in the near future. That leads me right into CloudCoin. So why are we so high on CloudCoin? Well, because the developers of CloudCoin took a look at the problems inherent with blockchain, and then from there, and these are people that are involved with system administration and and the science of data. And so what they did is they took a different approach, which is the approach that actually has been operational for almost centuries regarding any type of currency. And that is, what type of systems can be put in place to detect a counterfeit something? Okay. How can you validate something once it leaves a location and lands in a location? That's what CloudCoin has developed with the system called RADA. Okay. And what they have done is, throughout the world, they have a system of nodes that validate that this currency called a cloud coin is real. And because of that system, the transfer speed of a currency is near instantaneous. Now, obviously, why is that important? Because not only is it good for new people who are just getting involved in the buying and selling of currencies, coins, to get involved, but more importantly, it's clearly a technology that will service, in the not too distant future, retail outlets that are selling things, because then they can accept and receive CloudCoin instantly before they release their good or goods. They can also do another thing, which is very interesting, that we're talking with clients with now of our own, and that's the use of a digital currency, or in this case, CloudCoin, as an incentive to purchase something else. Now, I don't know how old most of the people on this that listen to this recording, but when I was a kid, I remember when we went to the grocery store, my mom carrying along her green stamp book, or getting green stamps or yellow stamps. So when they bought XYZ from the grocery store, the giant food store, used to get some of these green stamps or yellow stamps, and then they'd collect these things and put them in a book and buy stuff with them. Well, this is the same thing that's going to be happening now with digital currencies. The companies that want to differentiate their product from another company will offer as an incentive these digital currencies. It's clear. Now, in order to do that, you have to be able to transfer the currency quickly, which is why there can be issues with blockchain, and in specifically Bitcoin, in the application of these incentives. So I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be a big play in the near future, because obviously, if you have a consumer, and the consumer is looking at this purse versus this purse, and there's little difference even in price, but one company is offering this incentive of a crypto or a digital currency along with the offer. I mean, the consumer is going to, if I'm the consumer, I'm going to go with the product that's also offering me the cryptocurrencies. Consumers, it's in the news everywhere that cryptocurrencies are going up, 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 and up. So my viewpoint is what the heck? I'm going to take a bet on, hey, I'll buy this purse and I'll get these currencies, and maybe a year from now, who knows how much the currencies are worth. So that's another application of a digital currency that doesn't rely on blockchain but can be transferred quickly. It can be used as a currency itself, and it can be used as an incentive-based system. Also, by the way, with CloudCoin, what's also important is it doesn't operate with a central ledger. So it truly is an anonymous currency. So for you libertarians who are listening to this now, you're going to be cheering quite a bit. So that's also one other key point, a concern. If you look back at this screen I showed you earlier, there's now a very big concern about the transaction cost of using Bitcoin. Now, it's running now between $9 a transaction all the way to as high as $45 a transaction. Now, if you're buying a car, okay, $9, who cares? But if you're trying to buy something that's $40 and there's a $9 transaction fee at the low end, that's a real concern. With CloudCoin, there is no such transaction fee. So I hope that gives you a very good idea of what, just a little bit of information on what's happening with this crypto/digital currency world, and specifically, why we're so bullish on CloudCoin. And by the way, there's one other thing. CloudCoin, there's kind of a formula that you take a look at with any currency these days, and in investing in general. It's called the hockey stick. And typically, when a company is first getting out there and getting its feet wet and people are hearing about it, and this is specifically in the currency world, you're going to see a lower end price initially for the currency. But then at some point, when there's a critical mass of people who are actually holding and using the currencies, and also when the currency gets on certain exchanges, and there could also be some news events or endorsements of some sort, that's when you have that price, ballistic rise like a rocket ship. That's your blade on the hockey stick. So when what you want to try to also do is you want to try to get involved with currencies that are still in the handle phase before they go into the blade phase. Okay, so just think of a hockey stick that's pointing up, with the handle on the ground, the blade sticking up. So another benefit of working now with CloudCoin, it is in the handle stage. I don't know how much longer that's going to be, but certainly if you're somebody that's offering a retail product or some type of offer, and you're thinking about using CloudCoin as an incentive for people to buy, this is the time. That's for sure. Listen, thanks for taking a few minutes to listen in on our information here, and have a great day. Thank you.